Recorded at the WNDU 16 News Now studios, this is the South Bend Tribune's Pot of Gold Notre Dame football podcast. Here are your hosts, columnist Tom Noie, Notre Dame football beat writer Mike Berardino, and WNDU's Jackson Neill.
This is the Pot of Gold for Wednesday, October 15th. You feel it in the air, gentlemen? You feel it? You feel it, Mike? Fall?
Phil Collins.
Fall. It's in
my ear.
It's in the air tonight and tomorrow and the next night leading into the kickoff between number 20 USC 5-1, number 15 Notre Dame 4-2, 7:30ish Saturday night at Notre Dame Stadium. NBC has the broadcast. It's 55 degrees. It's rainy. It's gloomy in South Bend. Unlike Marcus Freeman saying the other day that it's a beautiful day in South Bend. It was then. It's not now. It is fall weather. It is Notre Dame USC weather, and perfect setting for the Trojans and the Irish doing battle Saturday night. Except, have any of you seen the forecast?
Yes. We have a first alert weather day issued here at 16 News Now.
Leave it to the NBC guy to bring up the first alert.
What do you got?
We have
lightning.
We have rain. And
lightning?
We need Jackson in front of the green
Get
screen.
that story ready.
There's a chance of lightning, in the 8-mile radius of Notre Dame Stadium.
Yes, it's supposed to rain. 72% chance of occasional showers most of the day on Saturday, leading into Saturday night. And as I walked up for access at the Irish Athletic Center, I was greeted with the possibility, did you hear that might be lightning between 5 and 9 p.m. on Saturday? So a long night as it is may get a whole lot longer if we're dealing with lightning and weather and all the other sorts. And what way? That's just another indication. Mother Nature is not happy that this series is coming to an end.
Exactly.
Or possibly coming to an end, right? They're not happy. You do not end Notre Dame and USC over the petty reasons this series seems to be going at least on hiatus, maybe for however many years, because Lincoln Riley doesn't like to travel to the Midwest. He'll turn around and go back to the Midwest next week when USC travels to Lincoln, Nebraska. Oh, and by the way, what happened the last time USC traveled to the Midwest? Or the first time USC traveled to Indiana to play a college football game earlier this year. Tick, 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 tick. 3 hours and 17-minute weather delay at Purdue.
Oh, yeah, that was that Purdue game.
So now we may have
So
weather.
it's them.
It is.
It's a USC problem.
It is a USC problem. They're saying that's because USC is making the biggest stink about ending this series. So,
you know how you fix this? Because it seems to be this is the year of the lightning delay.
It is.
How about make a few calls, Pete Bavacqua, and between now and next year, retractable dome at Notre Dame Stadium.
Why not?
I don't know if you can do that in a year.
Retrofit. They did it at Steve Ross World down in Notre Dame's home away from home, Hard Rock Stadium. You can. Well, they don't have a complete dome. That's true. They just have some coverage. Yeah. I think the retractable dome in this era of that's going to be a separator. All the recruits want to see that now. It's not just about in the arm. That's the next stage of the arms race. Not just about how many machines you have there in the workout room or what kind of gold bricks Lauren Lando is waving around at him.
You got a barber shop in the
yes. You got the
barber shop, the
Julio World. You got to have the retractable dome.
Yep.
So that you never have to stay up till 1 a.m. to finish the ball game.
1 a.m. That's positive thinking. 1 a.m.
Yeah.
What's the curfew? That's a question. We used to think about that in baseball. Couldn't start an inning after a certain time, depending on what city you were in. What is the? We need to look that up. What is our local curfew when you can run a play in public
at
after
the University of Notre Dame? Knowing them, it's probably 10:30 at night.
No, I know for a fact we've been there playing ball games past 11.
Yes, we have. So, all right, easy question. Very broad strokes here. What does Saturday's game against USC mean for Notre Dame? Anyone?
I mean, I think it's just
everything.
It's everything.
It is everything.
Look at the rest of the schedule. Look at the. I mean,
no, I don't want to look at the rest. Of the
I'm just saying. Just if you look at the rest of the schedule, it's not great. I mean, the Pitt looks a little better now after that Florida State win. You can argue how good Florida State is, but this is kind of it. this is the game, and it's like if they win this game, there's a real chance they win out. If they don't, it's talking about the Pop-Tarts Bowl.
It's over.
Yeah.
I am not prepared 2 weeks from now because we'll take next week off. Notre Dame does not play next week, so we probably won't have a podcast depending on what happens on Saturday. But I am not prepared the next time we're in this studio talking about Notre Dame football to come in and say, man, I can't wait for that Pop-Tarts Bowl.
What do you got against Pop-Tarts?
It's the Pop-Tarts Bowl. We covered a national championship game last year, Mike. We're going to have to turn around
nobody
and go
gave
cover
us
the
Pop-Tarts. Nobody gave us Pop-Tarts.
They gave us Chick-fil-A at halftime, though.
I'm definitely not going to argue about the food that we were served at Mercedes-Benz Stadium for the national championship game with Ohio State.
No, yeah, that was fine, but no Pop-Tarts.
That would have made it?
It's got a novelty to it. At some point, I want to see what all the fuss is about, especially when they wheel out the toaster oven at the end, and the mascot is put. What do they do?
They put the mascot. They toast the mascot,
and then out comes Pop-Tarts for everyone. They shoot it like confetti, or what?
Or it's a giant Pop-Tart that then the team eats. So they're eating the mascot.
It's so sick, and I got to see it in person.
If they lose this game, we'll have plenty of time to talk about it.
Down the road.
Stay tuned for more Pop-Tarts talk in November. No, not happening because.
When will they get the national championship game? I think I call for Pop-Tarts Bowl to be in the rotation. Now that would be the way to really. Let's just take. They got the best idea. It's better than Duke's Mayo Bowl. Mayo dumped on the coach's head. They need to get into that rotation if some of these other things are in there. But anyway.
Jackson, get the College Football Playoff Committee on line one, please, for Mike. I would like to get the Pop-Tarts Bowl in rotation.
I got them on standby.
It's like one of the last great things we can all agree on as Americans.
Okay, let's agree on this.
Pop-Tarts.
Agree on this. How big is Saturday's game? Huge?
It's huge. It's the biggest game, Tom, because it's the next game. No, it could be the last game. It's talking about bragging rights for perpetuity potentially. Neither side wants to lose this one. Both have a chance to make the college football playoff. I heard Matt Leinart on with Dan Patrick yesterday, and he's still saying that the path is still there for USC even if it loses to get in as a 2-loss team because of the conference affiliation and because of the quality of opponent still on its schedule. It can't lose a third game. But Notre Dame, it worked out nicely that USC got, a little juice with that Michigan win. We'll see just how significant that really was. But in the moment, Notre Dame will be able to attach a potential win to a ranked opponent. And there was no real hope of that happening anywhere else on the schedule. So just in time, USC got back after the bye week and a couple weeks ago losing at Illinois in a tight one to being, number 21 on the coaches and 20 on the AP.
Series history, Notre Dame leads the all-time series 52-38-5. This series started way back when Jackson was just a baby in 1926.
Kind of remember that.
Do you remember that one?
A little bit.
When the Irish used to take a train out to Los Angeles?
I think so.
Yeah. The Irish are 29-14-1 at home. Their last home loss to USC 2011, 31-17. Here's a stat for you. Here's a nugget that I dug up in our research this week. This is only the fourth time since 2005 that both teams are ranked heading into the matchup in South Bend. And overall, the Irish have won 2 straight, 6 of the last 7. Off the top of your head, top 3 rivalry games in college football?
Yeah. I'm
putting it number 1. I'm going to go first. I'm putting it number 1. Forget Michigan, Ohio State. Forget Auburn, Alabama. Forget it. I don't want to hear it. They play it's a conference game. It doesn't get any better than Northern Indiana and Southern California in October in Indiana and in November in Los Angeles. This is my number 1 college football rivalry.
You clearly have never seen the battle for the victory bell in Chapel Hill and Durham when North Carolina and Duke play football.
It's a hell of a basketball
They come out
rivalry.
with a little victory bell, and it's just about a foot off the ground, and it's a hate like no other. But yeah, that's right. That's for basketball.
Mike has mentioned the Pop-Tarts Bowl and the Duke North Carolina
victory
football.
bell, I think.
Victory bell.
Unless
rivalry.
Jordan Hudson has just taken that for her own furniture. It's up for grabs annually. Yeah, it's right in there. And of course, the tiebreaker would have to be that Godfather 2. We just lost Diane Keaton, and the Godfather 2, of all the games they could have had running in the background, Notre Dame USC,
Notre Dame
and
USC.
Even Al Golden came out last year and talked about it with the media.
That's what I was going
to. I think it's a recruiting point, if not for the kids, for the parents, because when it comes right down to it, this is the Americana aspect of this rivalry. It really is so ingrained in our annual schedule, and I choose to believe that when Marcus Freeman said he's optimistic or confident that this great rivalry will continue, I believe him, even though behind the scenes and to this point, USC maybe a month ago, I think Jen Cohen had said some optimistic things publicly, and you got Netflix, right, trying to jump in there. There's enough reason, enough money, enough venues that will take it on. It might look a little different, but I choose to believe that, I choose hope that this will not be the end.
Mike.
This
Hope
will
and
not
love.
be the end.
We spoke about, you mentioned Notre Dame and USC being in Godfather 2. What other movie features Notre Dame and USC? Jackson, any ideas?
Oh, jeez. I only know.
Don't say it.
I only know the Godfather. I was thinking.
We're hanging Jackson out to dry here.
Oh, yeah. I only know the Godfather 2 off the top
Think
of my head.
major holidays.
Major holidays. Home Alone?
Nope.
Close.
Think Nakatomi Plaza.
Nakatomi Plaza.
He's never seen it. I can't
He's seen
ask
it.
him.
He's blanking because we're putting him on the spot.
He can't think fast. What?
I don't know.
Mike?
Die Hard.
Die Hard.
And of course, they would never. They must have been watching it on YouTube.
He was watching on VH. He was watching a VHS tape of it.
Yeah, there's no. That was because that's Christmas Eve. Right?
Yeah, Notre Dame, and to my knowledge, I haven't gone all the way back to 1926, but I don't think Notre Dame USC ever played on Christmas Eve.
No, I think Notre Dame might have played in the Aloha Bowl though, right around Christmas, maybe on Christmas. But
One of the worst days, one of the worst nights on desk in the old South Bend Tribune building at the corner of Colfax and Lafayette was when Notre Dame played. I'm blanking. I'm like Jackson. I'm
Arizona?
I'm blanking out. Played on Christmas Eve in the Aloha Bowl.
Yeah.
Jimmy Clausen threw for like 600 yards. Forget who that was against. I got to look it up. It's bothering me. Somebody else talk.
I wanted to say Arizona, but
No, it wasn't.
yeah. So
we're on Christmas Eve. They played Hawaii.
what celebrities are we looking forward to seeing? You have to think Snoop Dogg will be out there on the sideline
This weekend?
Yeah, this weekend.
Really?
Will he make the trip?
Why not?
He tends to be the double G, all in on the Trojans. Still, Will Ferrell has shown up for some things, and still going back to his days in the SID. Imagine if Will Ferrell had just been better at sports information, and he'd stayed with it. If he just stuck with his first plan, which was to be the best sports information director USC's ever had, which would there's been some greats,
Some good ones.
and we would have been robbed of so much comedy, or maybe their game notes just would have been that good.
Probably would have been some pretty funny game notes.
Speaking of the game, Notre Dame goes into this game without a key member of its offensive line. It was feared when it happened on Saturday against North Carolina State, and it was made official when Marcus Freeman let us know that Ashton Craig, the starting center, gone for the rest of the year with a left leg injury, left knee injury, the same knee injury that he suffered when he was rolled up on at Purdue last year. It didn't look like from the replay that he was rolled up at all. He just kind of collapsed onto the ground, and as soon as he fell, I think it was Gerby Lambert who was motioning to the sideline to get the trainers out there. So Ashton Craig is out. Joe Otting makes his first career start Saturday against USC for an offensive line that was really starting to feel itself. How big of a loss is Ashton Craig?
That's a big one, especially being the center, calling out all the signals, identifying blitzes, sliding protections. He's got to be right there in lockstep with C.J. Carr, and C.J. Carr pre-snap, as good as you could possibly expect for a first-year starter. So Joe Otting is, CJ said, when I asked him after the game about you kind of knew right then that it was not good for Craig. When
because
I said,
he never mentioned Ashton Craig.
No, what's your level of concern for Ashton, and what is your confidence in Joe Otting? He went right to Joe Otting. So they had already, you have to do that. It's the next man up. But I will say that Billy Strouth yesterday, because he's great friends with Ashton Craig, he was positive
roommates.
That yes, they're
Housemates.
Yeah. So when the Guitar Hero combatants, but he was confident that Ashton Craig, to whatever extent he can, is going to be right there in Joe Otting's ear. They'll be watching film together. He'll be on the sideline a lot like this. When you're out for the year, that's what you do. You hang around and because of you're all in, your brotherhood, you do what you can to make it better. But still, the ball will be snapped, and Joe Otting's going to have to play about 60 to 70 snaps against a USC line, a front seven that's got guys, got some dudes, and but at least he's he handled the fourth quarter. He had the whole fourth quarter, and I think that's why they continued to just kind of run the regular offense. And his very limited time as 134 career snaps now. Pro Football Focus likes his work, so
that's always good.
For what that's worth.
And Mike Berardino loves Pro Football Focus. We've got
thank
Pro
God for
Football
that.
Focus reference already on the podcast. Jackson, tough situation for Joe Otting. This isn't okay. It's one thing to get hurt and have to make your debut against Purdue, maybe even Arkansas, which wasn't that good. Boise State, North Carolina State. Joe Otting's got to make his college debut in the biggest game of the season. That's a tough ask.
Yeah, that's the first thing that my mind went to when I saw this. When I saw the Craig news, and then Otting getting the start, is like, you really wish you could have gotten this at a different time of the season. Even if it happened after this week, there's plenty of games like against Boston College or Navy where you might feel a little better about that. This is going to be a tough ask. I think we're going to get into it too with their fourth and short issues. And
are we?
According to your rundown, we are. So this
There's
definitely
a rundown.
Yes, Mike. This is not going to be helpful for that. But yeah, that's my biggest takeaway. This is a tough ask. This is a tough spot to come in and make that switch.
Okay. Speaking of rundown, Mike, what is this team doing on fourth and short?
Sometimes the Wildcat,
which doesn't work. And then
to this point,
I'm still trying to figure out how CJ Carr rolls right, keeps rolling right, and just kind of rolls out of bounds on fourth and short.
Yeah, I gave him a lot of credit for the pre-snap decision making and audibles, but if he's decided that was a better idea, I'm not sure. He seemed to think that if he just waited a little longer, Malachi Fields is going to pop open eventually.
He's eventually going to be open.
I don't know how, maybe on a 75-yard wide field, but he'd just keep rolling into the into the concourse, and then he'd pop open. By the way, yes, Jadarian Price needs to get that fumbling under control, but Love and Price and short yardage. What part of handoff are we missing here? Just live to your identity. I didn't get the finesse calls on either of those, and a lot of shrugs in the stands too, I'm sure. Just these things, and sometimes you can get too cute. Yes, NC State was loading the box, and that's why the passing game was 2.5 times as productive as the running game in total yardage on that day. But in short yardage especially, you got to just line up and slam it. But also, you'd like to see CJ Carr occasionally under center with a quarterback sneak, and if it's a yard or less, Tom Brady did it. Tom Brady, but basically Jackson's physique his whole time, skinny dude,
little guy.
Hey,
not a little guy. Skinny.
Are you talking combine Tom Brady, or are we talking about later on in life? Because there's a big difference there, Mike.
See combine Jackson Neill.
We don't need that.
We don't want that.
But basically, no, I'm trying the whole time. I mean, it's just about having a little push and then knowing just which way to fall. And I think CJ Carr, he already has a rushing touchdown this year, but that was on his own quarterback draw. And Mark Streeman was asked about it this week on Monday about under center snaps. Why how hard would it be to do that? And It sounds like they do practice it. I just and CJ, when I asked him about it before the year, he said he'd done it at Saline, or Saline. So I'd like to see it. I would like to see the occasional quarterback sneak. I guess it's kind of gone away, like the fullback in college football. But if they do it in the NFL, still, why don't we see it?
Jackson, how much does the 4th and short issue have to deal with? If Notre Dame only had a healthy number 2 tight end where they can go 2 tight ends and then run power football.
I mean, I think that would definitely help. I think it's just simplifying it. I think Mike just talked.
They're trying to get too cute with stuff.
Just simplify it. Like, this is an offense where the offense has been, we've talked about all season long, has been so good. They've been so good in almost every single situation, putting up tons of points, just getting it done, rushing the football, throwing it as well. And this is just the one area. And I think, I usually don't always like to harp on play calling, but this just feels like the area where it's, in these instances, it feels like we haven't seen a just normal play call. Rush up the middle, a QB sneak, just something, even a quick route, just nothing, pretty much basic. And I don't get why this is the one area where they feel like they have to kind of show their muscle, show off how smart they are with trying something else. Like, you have better, especially in these past couple games, you have better personnel. Use your better personnel. Don't overthink it.
For years, and I'm going way back in the 90s when Lou Holtz was a coach, and my first go-around in covering Notre Dame football for the South Bend Tribune, all the fans used to talk about almost every single week, throw more to the tight end. Why don't you use the tight end? You need to use the tight end. That has now been replaced with, why can't Jadarian Price and Jeremiah Love be in the same backfield at the same time for a short yardage play? Could that work?
I think
again, that may also be oversimplifying.
No, I don't think it's too oversimplifying at that point, because it's like, okay, if you are going to hand it off, which direction are you going? Both of them are very, very good. I think it still is a little creative, but it's still more simplified than what they're doing right now. And just to go back to what happened this past weekend, the fact they did the rollout twice on these. When it happened the second time, that to me was just like, how do you not try something just like a little more basic? You are way better than this team.
The rollout where CJ Carr just kind of lofts it into the end zone. It's like, here, somebody else.
Yeah, and like he had to throw it into the end zone at that point. I get why you do that, but why is that the play call? I don't get that at all.
I'll throw this out there because we got to see it at Arkansas. The only Arkansas touchdown came on one of the big fellas being put in one of the linemen in the backfield, handed the ball, which I don't think we're seeing much of Sean Sevillano Jr. I think he'd really enjoy at 3:30 or whatever he is having a ball. But I think there should be some tryouts going on quietly over on the scout team side to see who can get up a good head of steam at three bills plus and see what you got.
Mike Berardino is bringing in Sean Sevillano. Jackson, who's your pick?
Whoever could be the closest indicated. I don't even.
He doesn't know.
I don't even know. I was not prepared for that.
I'm going with Armel Mukam.
Okay.
Armel Mukam, that's great. But I want girth. I want girth and burst, and it's fun. It does ignite the crowd too. They talk. They're very good at timing these fake punts, and you saw another one with Tyler Buckner shifting into a regular formation and picking up the 3 yards, and they needed a spark. So when you need a spark, sometimes it's just as easy as getting on the website and clicking wait and then seeing what we got. 340 for Sean Sevillano Jr. Gerby's busy, 335. Charles Jagusaw had a little setback. He's 333. Sullivan Absher, good. He's got athletic ability. Maybe he could do it. 6'8", 327 coming at you downhill. Gabe Rubio would probably enjoy it. He said violence is the answer to a lot of things on the field. 321. So I think that's what that would look like. But you guys just want to say, Love, Price, pick somebody. You don't have Kedron Young. This could have been the 240 Kedron Young slot in short yardage because he got a few chances to do that in blowouts. But, of course, the ACL in the fall camp.
After the second week of the season, when Notre Dame's 0-2 and looking totally lost defensively, you started thinking, oh, my God, if they're looking like that, what are they going to look like against USC? 4 straight wins has kind of steadied everything defensively. But still, this is quite the ask of the Chris Ash defense, no matter how well they've played against Purdue. A little bit better against Arkansas, a little bit better against Boise State, a little bit better against North Carolina State. You look at the numbers offensively. This is going to be interesting, isn't it, Jackson?
I mean, Jaden Maiava might be. Oof. Is he the best quarterback they're going to have faced this so far this season?
Carson Beck.
It's a question.
It is.
Look
at the numbers.
If you look at the numbers, it's a legitimate question. 13 TDs, only 2 interceptions, 72% completion percentage, 1,800 yards. Like he is a very, very good quarterback. And if you look at their past several games, I know we saw CJ Bailey come into that game with some big numbers, but Maiava is considered one of the most talented signal callers in the country. It's going to be the best QB they've faced since Carson Beck. You could argue even better. That is what I'm kind of really looking at of like, okay, I know you've been able to stifle these other QBs, but this is a guy that's going to be another level.
We talked about Notre Dame having a 4th and short problem offensively. Mike, defensively, Notre Dame's got a nickel problem. Right? What do you do with nickel-wise?
Well,
we thought it was Carson Hobbs early, then he went away. Dallas Golden was good, but it was almost like a beacon out there against North Carolina State. If number 14 is on the field defensively, go toward him. And if he's playing nickel against those USC receivers, defense might be in for a longer night. Devontae
Smith is the first choice if he's healthy. He's got the calf. He's played 7 total snaps in the last 2 games. That's a lot to ask. There's the idea floating out there that if Makai Lemon. And by the way, Makai Lemon, every time I say Makai Lemon, I hear Gus Johnson yelling Makai Lemon because he makes him sound like half a second faster in the 40 every time. He's unstoppable, but he's really, really good. And
but that's it.
He's a slot. Makai Lemon. They don't move him around much. He's really in that slot. And is it fair to Leonard Moore with his frame, his long levers to ask him to be in a job he's never done? I mean, he's always been either boundary or field, and that's where he can shut, as Marcus basically said. You feel pretty good about when Leonard Moore's shutting down half of the field or taking care of, but he can shut down half of the field, and then you just have to. I don't know. I mean, Dallas Golden has really come a long way, and Chris Ash said a lot of good things about him yesterday. And they're pleased with just how the race against time was one of the lines that Ash used, and it's in general about his defense. But with this game looming, no one's had a race against time more pronounced, more important than Dallas Golden getting up to speed and just being able to avoid the explosive. Couldn't avoid that one explosive against NC State. I still think we see some Leonard Moore on Lemon. I think it's going to take several different people cycling through, but Devontae Smith's option A, they really have to hope that that calf holds up because he's got the experience. He's played at Alabama. He knows what these kind of matchups and this kind of talent will require, and even then, you're going to need whatever you got, bracket, cloud, whatever you call it. Makai Lemon, you cannot lose track of that guy because then I have Gus Johnson yelling in my head again.
Makai Lemon, 113 yards, averaging 113 receiving yards a game. But it's not just him, Jackson, because you look down the list, I think the 2, 4, 6. They've got 8 different players averaging double figures in catch yards per game or per catch.
Big gap, though, guys, between Lemon's total receptions.
44 to 18.
Yes, big gap. And even Drake Bowen said yesterday, we know, Notre Dame's defense knows that when Jaden Maiava gets in trouble, or even before he gets in trouble, his first read is always Lemon, and he tends to be open because he's going to be a first-round pick, it seems like. So if he gets locked in on that, possible foreshadowing of a what do we call it? What is our prediction thing?
A bold
pot of bold.
Little bold prediction.
Somebody might go pot of bold on one of those interior dudes getting a pick because a lot of times it is just a quick read, Lemon, and then And
what was that?
It's like a Ferrari in traffic on the 405, but
it's not going that fast on the 405.
No, it's not. But maybe on the Pacific Coast Highway.
There you go.
But you can't let him air it out. You can't let Lemon get rolling. He's going to get his. He did last year, right? And
well, so did Jacoby Lane.
Yeah, and then it seems like they're not finding him as much. Whether he's had injury, I'm not sure, but. That's a surprising gap in terms of how much they lean on Mekhi Lemon, and they're down several backs. They're down to a former very preferred walk-on in King Miller, who had a heck of a game. But they've had, and here's another thing to point out, just real quick. After Notre Dame has to go to Plan B at center. It's Joe Otting, who's a third-year sophomore and very lightly used. USC had to do that in the middle of the Illinois game, when its starting center went down, at Killian O'Connor, and they go to a former Syracuse 2-year starter, Reed is now so he's the guy, and he seemed to have played pretty well against Michigan. That's quite a difference. That's kind of like having Pat Coogan on ice to go do that. No, Pat Coogan's down in Indiana. Girlfriend went there. Money was there. But it wouldn't have been nice to have Pat Coogan sitting there on ice, like just in case. Yeah. That's what it was like for USC when they had a need at center.
Jackson, any final thoughts?
I think
as we wrap up USC talk.
The one thing you always have to remember when we talk about their receivers and what kind of matchups can Notre Dame get against them, it's whatever you want to say about Lincoln Riley. The dude is a creative play caller. He is creative on the offensive side of the football. So even if Notre Dame comes out and they find a way to maybe slow Lemon down or get the kind of coverage they want on him, Riley's going to have plan A, B, and C to try to get him the matchup that they want. Not saying they'll always be able to get it, but if there's one thing Riley can do, that's his biggest strength as a coach.
That's our early talk about USC. We'll come back with more on this episode of Pot of Gold right after this. Guest spotlight this week, of course, we've got to talk to former Notre Dame safety and, most importantly, fellow Buffalo Grove High School graduate from the mean streets of Arlington Heights, Illinois, currently the head coach of St. Patrick's High School in the Belmont Central area, Portage Park of Chicago. We bring in Tom Zbikowski. Tom, what's happening, brother?
Man, how we guys doing?
It's USC week. When you were a student here, when you were a football player, what did USC week mean around the complex and around the campus when it was Notre Dame and USC at Notre Dame?
2003, we freshmen were all trying to warn our upperclassmen about this running back named Reggie Bush. They found out during the game who he was. If they didn't know beforehand, we had all played against him in the Army All-American game, tried to give him the heads up. It did not work. And then 05 was a whole different feel from that 03 season. 05 was we were planning on playing our best football, and we were planning on upsetting the number one team in the country. So it was, a big reason why I went to Notre Dame was to play in those type of games.
They say they said it again last night when we talked to the players. It's just another game. It's just another week. But when it's USC, it really isn't, is it?
No, and not for. I mean, in my time, they were the best team in the country for the last couple of years. So it was mutual respect. I really had a lot of respect for the USC guys. As much as the heated rivalry was, they were classy. They were tough. They were physical. They were our counterpart. They were. They made us a lot better. Getting ready for that game made us a lot better.
So I was talking to Ryan Harris earlier today, and he told a story, and I'd like to have your version of this. He says he swears that at a spring break trip that you guys were both on in 05, that you announced
Puerto Vallarta.
There you go. Take us through that. What did you predict, and what made you predict it?
I have no idea.
Oh,
but I know.
Okay.
Right. I had no idea where it came from. I just knew it was going to happen. I don't even know if I was returning punts at the time in spring ball. I think I just started maybe getting some reps back there, but yeah, I told Big Hair I was going to take one back in the USC game.
and of course you
That
did.
was April. That was April. That was
Yeah.
right. That was April of 05. Poor guy showed up with the stomach bug. Two Puerto Vallarta. He had a miserable time. He still tried to have the best time he could. Speaking fluently to all our taxi drivers. It was awesome.
How often are you reminded of that 2005 punt return? Because the South Bend Tribune just recently ran a poll of the top 25 individual plays of the last 25 years, and Tom Zbikowski returning that punt for a touchdown that October 15th day was number one.
No.
Yes.
Really?
As chosen by?
Really?
Me.
I love it. My man.
I got to take care of my Buffalo Grove guy. Come on.
I know. Go Bison. Go Bison. Go Bison.
People voted on it too, though?
No. Nobody voted.
Oh, Tom voted on it.
It's a committee of
people
one.
voted on it.
Nobody voted on it.
We're all voting
it,
on it.
man.
Good call.
How often are you reminded?
It
Hey,
was-
I was in the stands that day. That like seriously, I was at my house in Granger, and I think I heard the fans all the way out there. The way that place erupted when you.
I mean, it was raucous. It was a raucous crowd. It was in the moment. Like I don't know how to explain it. You're in the zone. You can't hear anything, but somehow you know that the place is in a frenzy, and it's awesome when those fans in the end zone kind of creep onto the field. I miss those old time games when those guys used to be on the bleachers, in the end zone and pat the players on the back. I miss those days, and it was kind of look. I know one guy made it, at least when you watch that replay. There's one guy that's on the field to pat me up on the back that I love. But it was, to me, it was maybe what I was destined to do. I don't know, but I knew it was going to happen.
When you drop back to field the punt, did you think back to Puerto Vallarta and say, "Here it is, like let's do this"?
I told my brother the night before that I was going to take my first punt return back too. So it was more. I had to make him proud. Not
Tom?
that he wasn't proud of me, anyways. I just needed,
Exactly. One thing we've been talking about today and just kind of all this week is that as of right now, this is the last Notre Dame USC game in the current contract. I mean, it's someone who's had some great moments in this rivalry. I mean, what would kind of be those emotions for you if you saw this game no longer be played every single year?
Man, I don't know if people know the history of Newt Rockne taking the train out to the West Coast, but man, you better do your history lesson. You better keep this game going. This is what made college football what it is today. The cross-country trips, the Big Ten. You used to look at the Big Ten, what they become. It doesn't happen if there's not Newt Rockne taking a train out to the West Coast every November, every other November to play that game.
So today is the 20th anniversary to the day of the Bush Push game, and went back and watched the condensed highlights, and it's burned in everyone's memory. But of course, none more so than the guys who were on the field there. And so I want to ask about what Matt Leinart said recently on a podcast. He was asked his memory, and you may have seen it, maybe heard about it, but his mind went right to you, and right before the snap of that play, and this is what he said. He said, "I remember we were waiting for the whistle. Tom Zbikowski was right in front of me, like he knew I was about to go up the middle. He just knew it," he said, "and I looked him in the eye. I tried not to look at him," he said. It was one of those things, I'm like, don't look at him in the eye. Don't look him in the eye. And it's like a penalty kick in soccer. And then, sure enough, take us there. He said he jumped over a LeVar Arrington style, and he hit me. But then he did his little pirouette, he said, and sure enough, his boy Reggie Bush, illegally pushed him in the end zone. Did you know, also right before the snap, looking back at it, you take 2 steps over and you say something to your teammate Brandon Hoyt. Do you remember what you said right before the snap to him?
Yeah, they're not spiking it. They're sneaking it. They're sneaking it. I knew they were sneaking it, and I give that credit to the boxing background that I did. When I know eye contact. I know I have another sense of somebody's intentions in those moments, and body language and intentions. And um, he didn't break eye contact with me. I knew what he was going to do.
When that game
I
goes
knew what he was going to do, but the play before is where the thing, where it really comes in, because Corey Mays knocks the ball back to the 3-yard line. That play never even should have happened.
When that game goes final, how much of a fog were you in for the next 2-3 hours, maybe 2-3 days? Like, you know what, we just beat the number 1 team in the country, but the scoreboard says otherwise.
Yeah, man, it was one of the hardest losses. It definitely was. It was way harder than any high school loss. The only one that probably could have been worse was the 2011 AFC Championship game for me in Baltimore. But other than that USC one was my toughest loss. But also a sense of pride that this is a team that was on a 20-some game winning streak and national champs, and we knew the talent that was on there. We really, took them to the limit.
20s, yeah, that was their 28th straight. So
Right.
One of the all-time epic team, and you guys toe-to-toe classic. Speaking of,
and I think their last loss was against Aaron Rodgers. They lost to Cal at Cal in like 02, 03 or something like that. So even the loss that they had is against a Hall of Fame quarterback.
So I heard on another podcast that you're one of the things you're doing at St. Pat's is getting boxing. You got a boxing club going, I believe. You want your young athletes to try to be two-sport guys, or at least experience what it's like. How does the boxing help them? Do you help coach that, or did you pick somebody to be their trainer for that, or how's that going?
No, I will. Football season's going now. I've been green lighted to start it. I'll start December, really making one of these classrooms into a boxing gym, and then start things up in January. But it seems to be an epidemic even in college, and nobody knows how to use their hands. Nobody can get off blocks. Nobody really knows how to use their hands back in the day, and especially in Chicago. When I grew up in the mid 90s, there was an alderman named Ed Kelly and this really good boxer named Muhammad Ali that started the Chicago Park boxing program, where every kid at the local park, it was free for the boys to go to the boxing gym. It wasn't to raise future world champions. It was to give these kids discipline and get them off the streets. The last time it was free for the kids was 2000. I used part of my signing bonus to make sure that the kids in Chicago could still fight in the Park District. I know the value. Boxing saved my life. I know the value of it. I know how much it helped me respect the janitors alongside the people that clean up your clothes, alongside the principals. It taught you to respect every person you came across. It taught you to respect every race, every religion, every body type. It taught you to physically fight someone, and then hug them afterwards. You almost become brothers in arms after you do this. For me, I'm opening it up to every student is going to be able to box. It's not just the athletes. I'm going to have, every student will be able to at least learn how to defend themselves, to learn the discipline of boxing. And the boys that want to fight in the Golden Gloves or want to get a couple fights, I will get them the right training, and I'll be in their corner. And boxing was always my first love. So I'm really excited for the winter time to get this boxing program going.
Tom, what does it mean to be doing the job you're doing as a head football coach in the city that you're doing it?
Right. It's man, especially, my dad grew up in this neighborhood right down the street by Hanson Stadium, right across the street from Lloyd Elementary School. A lot of I would go to Portage Park a lot of times for boxing. I just, to get some of these kids the Catholic high school education, and knowing that I'm giving, hopefully giving them opportunities to go to colleges that never even would have been an opportunity for them. That's my goal. I would love to win a state championship, but that's really not my first goal. My first goal is to develop these boys into young men, get this boxing program going, and get as many kids to college as I possibly can. But it's it makes all my past, history or mistakes. It's part of the healing process about how I finished my football career. Working with these kids has healed my my end to my football career, which was not a glorious one.
The end of your football career, but your coaching career only had 3 years, 1 year at Western Michigan, 2 years at Brown. What was it about those 3 years that you felt, okay, that's prepared me for the job I need to do at the place I'm going to do it?
I think seeing a Tim Lester, seeing a James Perry, seeing, taking notes from when we transitioned from Tyrone Willingham to Charlie Weiss and seeing John Harbaugh to Chuck Pagano, like these are the coaches that my small list of coaches are pretty powerful, and the people that I've kind of molded my coaching career after, and who I've kind of picked and choose what it is to be a head coach, but also have.
Oh.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
To call me.
We heard, we're just getting a reset, but we were hearing everything was good right up to Harbaugh, I mentioned, and then cut out.
Just that these were the coaches that I picked and chose, and to model my coaching style after, and kind of how you structure practice. I think how I structure practice is as close to a college environment. And the benefit of me being at Brown is I recruited Arizona, I recruited Texas. So going to some of these schools in the springtime in Texas and seeing how some of these powerhouses run their spring practices, how they get the most out of all their time. For me, it always drove me nuts going to a football practice and seeing half the guys standing around doing nothing, 3/4 of the guys standing around doing nothing. You're at my practices, you're really, you ain't going to see that.
Go ahead, Jen.
All right. This season, one of the big topics for Notre Dame has kind of been the defense, and early on, some defensive struggles. As someone from that side of the ball, we've seen Notre Dame now make this switch, only giving up 7 points in each of the past 2 games. How does a defense kind of improve like that over the course of a season or over the course of just several weeks?
All good defenses, even being in Baltimore, of how many good defenses I was a part of, there was still always a game within those first 4 or 5 games where we gave up 36, 38. You get good defenses rally around, all right, we have good players, we have good schemes, we're not communicating, we need to tighten things up. A lot of that is just the process of how you become a dominant defense. Is you got to face those early obstacles and learn why it was that you gave up the points that you gave up.
I want to get
the process. It's definitely a long process. And when you get change at the top, it takes a little time. This is year 1 for the defensive coordinator. It takes time for him to. You can't just run the same defense. I know it was awesome before, but that's Golden's defense. That ain't your defense. You got to put your own spin on things, and you got personnel changes and things like that. It takes time for you to settle in and learn from the past mistakes.
I want to bounce back to boxing because I heard that your nickname for your youngest is Boom Boom, and and I love Boom Boom Mancini too. And I've been walking around my condo singing Warren Zevon. Boom Boom Mancini. I wonder if you would, because Jackson says there's copyright. We can't play it. I wanted to play it as intro. What? But do you sing it? Would you? Don't want to put you on the spot.
No,
maybe.
Tell me about it. I don't even know about it.
Oh, you don't know that song?
I know Boom Boom. So I've been at 2 fights in Chicago where he came in, where Italian Hall of Fame has put on fights, and I got to spend. I had dinner with him one time, and then this last time with my oldest son. He was feeding them pretzels and grapes, and I got to sit with Boom Boom and talk to him for 20, 30 minutes. Like it's a fascinating story. I love the fact that he became world champ just to make his father proud. It was a crazy story that this guy really became that good just because, he loved his father that much and wanted to build on the legacy that his father brought. And then to know what happened with the man that, passed away, unfortunately, after his fight, to see him still be so pleasant and upbeat and know that it's a serious game, but he's still in shape. The guy's jumping rope 4 or 5 times a week. He's doing yoga like he is. Those are the type of guys I always looked up to, the 65-year-olds that still look like they're 40. And he's certainly one of them. He still looks like he can go rounds.
Yeah, Duk Koo Kim, who was the Korean boxer.
And that was last 15. That's why they stopped the 15-rounders.
Wow, and that was in the days when CBS would have a couple of matches on every afternoon on Saturdays, and Tim Ryan doing those. The Warren Zevon song is Boom Boom Mancini. It's from 1987. It's great. Good stuff, and we lost Warren Zevon, who reminded us to enjoy every sandwich, which is an important advice. Yeah, just day by day.
Are you a Youngstown guy? Where are you from?
I'm from South Florida, but I remember watching those, and I remember rooting for him. I'm Italian American, and rooting for him on TV, and they could build the personality. And you got to know the boxers, and now it's all MMA and UFC, and wrestling is not even real. So it's to hear you talk about boxing and what it's meant to your life. You say it saved your life, and I'm sure it saved a lot of lives. So I'm rooting for your boxing program alone, as well as your football program. That sounds very worthy. Yeah.
Big game Saturday, Notre Dame and USC, obviously. But how big of a game is Friday night's St. Pat, St. Rita?
Ours is big, man. It's a really big one. We need this one,
right?
And we need to beat a Southside team. That's for sure. We need to beat a Southside team. My boys have been playing well. We didn't play too well last week, but they've been progressing. They've been getting better every single week. I'm looking forward to this matchup. I really am.
What's been the biggest challenge for you as a head coach? The day-to-day challenges that come of being a head coach at the high school level.
I got into it because I wanted to be more the CEO. Like the X's and O's. I understand them. They always bored me. They're not. They don't. That's not what wins football games. It's what gets offensive coordinators hired, and then programs plummet, and then they got to fire the guy like usual because we all hire guys on fancy X's and O's that they don't know that no matter how good the X's and O's are, everyone's going to have tape on it, so it's maybe going to last a year before everyone gets a beat on it anyway, so what's the point? It's about the discipline. It's about efficiency. It's about communication. It's about having a common goal.
What do you got, Mike?
Well, we could keep them all day, but
we just got a few minutes.
Yeah, thanks for doing this, Tom. I was going to say too that one more about the 05 Bush push game. As Corey Mays delivers the blow and the ball goes out of Leinert's hands, you stand there in a boxing stance and deliver basically a haymaker for the knockout. As you delivered that punch, what was in your mind? How satisfying! It's so sad that it was taken away, but how satisfying was that haymaker?
Morgan Park, Corey Mays. It was happy to see a Chicago kid show up on that stage, and I knew how good of a player he was, and I knew how tough a competitor he was. And I think I was most happy for him that it was the play that he just made. Not that he hadn't made plays before, but if you look at the Michigan game, he hits Mike Hart and the whole game changes. That was really what changed that Michigan game. Was such a physical game, and he really set the tone for the whole game. To see him do it again, I was really happy that Morgan Park was on the map and that Corey Mays made the play that he made in that situation. I thought it was putting us in position to win the game. I thought it really, or at least push it to overtime.
All right, last question. Most important question. What's the best place by St. Pat's to go get a beef sandwich?
Jay's down Narragansett and Harwood Heights, or you got to go to Nautilus, the original Nautilus on Belmont. I usually go there and get I get the breaded steak. I had the 2-finger braciole last week. I gotta get the breaded steak there next time. But their beef looked really, really good.
And then how often are you able to get back to campus? Obviously not now because you're in season, but have you been able to bring the family back?
I brought one of our boys. I have a really good junior defensive lineman that's starting to get offers. He's got an offer from Mizzou. He's got an offer from Iowa State. I took him to South Bend, got to see Greg Madison, spent a little time with Marcus Freeman, chopped it up with Mike Denbrock, and got to see and Trent Miles and some of those coaches that coached me. It was awesome. It was. The campus has definitely changed a lot, but I just had my 4th kid. I got a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a 3-week-old. So I got barely enough time to sleep, let alone go to visit my college, my alma mater.
So taking care of 4 kids on Saturday, your eyes will not be all glued to the television, right?
No. And usually during the season, other than football, I don't really watch TV during my football season. I need that's the quiet reflection and the meditation and the discipline of during the season helps me really plan for what's ahead in my season. I don't like wasting that time, that valuable time of letting come, whatever thoughts that come my way. I need to be focused on that.
Tom, we know you're busy. Go get a win against St. Rita. Go watch the Irish. Maybe get a win on Saturday. Good luck with the boxing program, and we'll keep in touch as everybody moves forward. Appreciate your time.
I appreciate you. Have me on again, please. I enjoyed this.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're going to hold you to that.
Yeah, I'll be on.
There you go. That's Tom Zbikowski, former Notre Dame safety, and again, like I said, fellow Buffalo Grove graduate guy. So we'll come back. We'll wrap it up, this edition of Pot of Gold, right after this. We have reached the end of the line for the Notre Dame USC Pot of Gold segment. It is Pot of Bold segment. Easiest segment of the show. Some of us make it more difficult than the others. One hot take, one score prediction, and I'm laying down the law on this. The one hot take cannot be, yes, there will be a weather delay on Saturday night. So scrap that. No weather delay. One hot take, one score prediction. Who's going first?
I'm ready.
Let's go.
I'm going to say it's been a while since we've seen a Bryce Young blocked something on special teams. And I know he can do the field goal block, the extra point block, the punt block. I'm not going to specify which one, but I'm feeling a Bryce Young block in some element of special teams. USC not that great at special teams, and this is one of those moments. And I'm going to say the score, I'm going with 34-31, which is in my brain because of the Bush push game 20 years ago. But this time Notre Dame is the one on top. Just a little more quality across the board, a little tighter operation than USC this time. And so that's the score. Notre Dame 34, USC 31.
Jackson, what do you have?
All right, so USC's defense has gotten 8 interceptions so far this year, led by Bishop Fitzgerald. He has 5 of them right there. So it's a defense that can definitely get some interceptions. Well, my bold prediction is CJ Carr doesn't throw a pick.
How about that?
Throws 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. I think he has a really, really clean game. I think he just makes smart decisions in this one. I think as a QB, he learned a lot from those first 2 ranked losses, and now it's his next chance to kind of be on this big national stage against another ranked opponent. I think he's going to be ready for the moment. He seems like a special player. And I'm going Notre Dame 35-28. They win. No field goals. There should be some wind gusts between 20 to 30 miles an hour, according to my meteorologist here.
Plain weatherman over here.
I'm just saying.
Sports coordinator / weatherman.
Hey,
Jackson.
It helps when I have a weather guy I'm talking to every single day. So that's my score prediction and bold take.
All right, here's my hot take. What did Marcus Freeman say on Monday that Saturday's game had to be? It's got to be a physical, bloody game.
Bloody.
If it's physical and it's bloody, that means it's a run game. I'm going to go out and say Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price both run for over 100 yards. In whatever type of weather we're going to be facing. Hopefully none at all on Saturday night at Notre Dame Stadium. But Price and Love both go over 100. C.J. Carr is, again, C.J. Carr. We almost take him for granted. Final score, here's another. I got 2 hot takes.
Whoa.
Notre Dame never trails, and at the end of this series, however long this end is going to happen, Notre Dame wins a Classic, 42-41 over USC to finish it out at Notre Dame Stadium.
So is USC going to go for 2 at the end for the win? They're not going to get it. How's that going to work?
Stay tuned for the second half of our pot of gold. That well, it'll feature how this ends and another weather update from meteorologist Jackson Neill.
Oh man!
All right, so that'll do it for pot of gold. We will not be back unless something crazy happens Saturday night at the stadium between USC and Notre Dame. Notre Dame will be on its second off week. So we will return the week of October 27th, heading into the Boston College game where let's please not talk about the Pop-Tarts Bowl the next time you see us. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. This has been the Pot of Gold.
This has been the South Bend Tribune's Pot of Gold podcast, your home for insightful Notre Dame football coverage and analysis.